Hey guys, I'm sorry for the very late review of Transformers Age of Extinction. I did watch it in the very first week it came out, but we just had too many movies that I wanted to see this summer, so I had to go see them all, and I was overwhelmed by all these movies. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy, Edge of Tomorrow, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and all that. Also, there's going to be a review on Dawn of the Planet of the Apes very, very soon, so if you're interested in that one, yeah, it'll come out very soon. So this one, it will be on Transformers Age of Extinction, and I believe it'll be on Blu-ray and DVD very soon. I heard by the end of September, so at least, might as well just review it. Well, I'm going to talk about how I felt about the previous trilogy, the Michael Bay infamous trilogy. The first one, I really did like. I thought it was stupid, but it was good, fun entertainment, and I felt like a kid again after watching the movie. I really did enjoy it. I even enjoyed the stupid moments, like with Anthony Anderson and shit. I did enjoy it. Second one, I was very disappointed, but I did enjoy it. But there were some stupid moments and some characters I really couldn't bear. John Turturro, I really didn't want to see him again, especially his ass. Oh god, that was really disgusting. And we have that kid, Leo, and he keeps screaming and whining and shit. I really didn't like that. And Shia LaBeouf, he keeps getting unlikable. In the second one and third one, so I really didn't like him. And Megan Fox, I honestly don't care about her in the second or third movie. Well, she didn't appear in the third movie, but I didn't care much about her in the second one. She's hot, and that's it. The balls on the giant Devastator and shit, I really don't like it. And so that's why I was hoping for the third one, that Michael Bay will learn from his mistakes and, get rid of these stupid characters and stupid, jokes and stuff with the dog humping and shit, and get rid of them, so make an awesome third movie. So for the third movie, I have a love and hate relationship with it, because I felt like this movie could have been great. This movie could have been fantastic, because I felt like 50% of the movie is really, really awesome. The action is great. The flight suit and stuff, and the Battle of Chicago, everything's being destroyed. There's the Inception kind of building scene with a giant metal snake, and Optimus Prime is flying around and kicking ass and shit. Yeah, it felt great to see that. Then you had stupid moments like Ken Jeong doing the deep wang, and I really hated that. I was like, Michael Bay, you did not learn a single fucking thing. No, you did not. You just keep putting all this shit that we don't really need, and it's 2 hours and 30 minutes. So I felt like about 90 minutes of the movie is really, really good, but the rest is just garbage. It's just garbage. So he came back to direct the fourth movie, and from the trailers, I honestly was impressed. But at the same time, I was very worried that he didn't learn his lesson. Even though he keeps saying that he learned his lesson. He's like, oh, don't worry, I listened to all you fans. I'm getting rid of Shia LaBeouf, and there's going to be a main character you'll like, Mark Wahlberg. Everyone likes Mark Wahlberg. So I was like, okay, Mark Wahlberg, I like him. All the characters are redesigned mostly. I mean, they still look the same from the previous trilogy, but they do look distinct, they all look unique, and especially the Decepticons, because that's the problem with the previous trilogy. All the Decepticons basically look the same. They're the same color, the same sort of gunmetal dark gray, and they all look like either Megatron or Starscream. So the Decepticons now look different, so I'm happy about that. So this movie, it was really, really stupid. It is the stupidest one out of all the Transformers movies so far. It is stupid. It's really stupid. After watching this long-ass 2 hour and 45-minute movie, my brain, it couldn't take it. My heart almost couldn't take it. I was exhausted. I couldn't think straight. I mean, I was watching this in New York City, in the theater on 42nd Street, and then I came out and I was like, dude, I don't know what to do anymore. I felt like I died already, seriously. But with that said, I did enjoy the movie. And I feel ashamed of saying that, because this movie is really stupid and really, really stupid. Yeah, all you people are saying, well, what do you expect? Is Michael Bay doing a Transformers movie? No. I did not expect this to be this freaking retarded. I hate using that word because my brother has a mental illness, so I really hate using that word, but this movie really deserves that word. It's stupid. My friends who saw the movie before me, they're like, David, if you want to have a fun time, please shut off your brain once you go inside. Not like the previous trilogy. No. Really shut off your brain. Otherwise, you're gonna hate the movie. I was like, okay. So I did shut my brain off, but in the first 5 minutes where it showed the dinosaurs and the Earth being exploded with the ships and stuff, my brain turned on because I was asking so many questions and I was overloaded in my head and my brain basically exploded. I was like, wait, this makes no sense. Why is like this? Why is doing that? Why is this? Who's that? What? Brain overload. And I was like, dinosaurs, Dinobots. Seriously, I felt like a dumb redneck right after that. 5 minutes, that's all you need. Oh, this movie is stupid. But Michael Bay did learn a couple things. For once, the main characters. Well, the main character, Mark Wahlberg. He's so much more likable than Shia LaBeouf's character. Wow, what a huge difference. Because you know why? Mark Wahlberg is a caring father who lost a wife and has to take care of his daughter, and he has very bad luck. He wants to prove to the world that he can make these great inventions. He could be fixing shit and he could make so much money, but unfortunately he doesn't have that, so he can't even pay off the loans on his farm, and he really wants to have some kind of luck, and he wants to show the world what he can do. And then he finds Optimus Prime and he helps him, and he actually helps the Autobots fight off the Decepticons. That's the main character, and I was happy about Mark Wahlberg. He was really good in this movie. And yes, there were some things that he said were really stupid, but he sells it. I mean, it's the kind of things that I expect him to say, and he delivers, and I was okay with that. Remember the scene from The Happening where he was talking to the plant? Yeah, there were some times where it seems like it was going that route, but he just sells it. I mean, he acted very well in this movie. He's not a dumb hick, but he's like a man-child, so it all fits. It's great. And Kelsey Grammer, he was really unnecessary in this movie, but he was good. He was intimidating. He was badass. He was tough. I really liked him. And Stanley Tucci, I expected him to be very over the top, but no, I really like this character. I mean, he was kind of subtle. Yes, sometimes he screams out loud, but then again, he screams like a normal person should scream at. I mean, they're about to get exploded and shit, so of course, I mean, he acts like a normal person, and I like his character because he plays like a Steve Jobs kind of type. He's the head of this company, and he really wants to show the world of all the brilliant things he could do and create, and he wants to give it to the world, help the world. But once he realizes that there were some bad things about his inventions, then he expresses his doubt, his concerns, and he's wondering if what he's doing is right or wrong, and he's conflicted about that. I like that. That was good. Fan Bing Bing. Or is it Lee Bing Bing? One of the Bing Bings. I'm sorry. I know she played Ada Wong from the Resident Evil movies. I really hated the Resident Evil movies, but I liked her as Ada Wong, mostly because she looks exactly like Ada Wong. And she was badass in here. She's basically like Jet Li from The Expendables, because she keeps repeating the same lines. I need more money. You better give me a raise. I need more money. I want more money. You want me to do this? I want more money. Yes, you could say that's an Asian stereotype, but she sells it. She's hot. She's pretty. She kicks ass. That's all you need. That's good for me. Okay, before I get into the kids, I gotta talk about the most annoying character in the movie, T.J. Miller. If you like this guy, then you'll probably like him here. Me? I mean, I think the most tolerable I could find him in is in Cloverfield, but I didn't like him in Cloverfield. Actually, I was kind of glad that he died at the end of Cloverfield. Here, he does die, but he does not deserve that death. No, really. I mean, sure, I guess he deserved to die in some way, but not that. That was just too cruel, man. I don't know, T.J. Miller, he didn't accomplish anything in here. He's supposed to be the funny man, but supposed to be like the best friend that Mark Wahlberg has, but I don't know. T.J. Miller does not fit well. He doesn't. I mean, I laughed at him a couple times, but that's mostly because he was playing a goofball and he's clumsy as hell and accidentally destroying stuff, and I was laughing at that. But every time he says an awkward joke, like at Mark Wahlberg's daughter, like, oh, your daughter's not hot. What do you mean by that? Well, she can be hot, but I'm not a pedophile. That kind of joke, you know? it's not funny. He dies the most cruelest way. In the beginning, you see these ships dropping bombs and stuff, and everything explodes, but also turns into hot metal. So I thought that was a very cool effect. But the problem was, it was happening in dinosaur times. You see all these dinosaurs roaming around, and I'm like, is this how the Dinobots were formed? They didn't really explain that much. Then you see the remains of the Dinobots, and they're crumpled together and stuff, and there's this blonde woman who just sees them, and then after that you don't see the Dinobots for a very long while. This happens in the first 5 minutes, and you don't see the Dinobots until the final act in China. So later on, you see Mark Wahlberg and his daughter, his daughter's boyfriend, and T.J. Miller escaping from the Kelsey Grammer and the guys, and then all this shit is blowing up. So it's in slow motion, it looks cool, but for some reason, T.J. Miller, I guess he got caught or something like that, because he was way behind Mark Wahlberg and everyone else, and they were from the same destination, they were from the car, but for some reason T.J. Miller took so long, so he was running in slow motion, then he got hit by the bomb, and then remember the scene from Terminator 2 Judgment Day when Sarah Connor exploded from being turned into ash and she was burning and shit? That's T.J. Miller in this situation, except it's with hot metal and you see the remains of his metal skeleton. Wow. Oh, God. And they keep showing this image for a long time. It felt forever. I'm like, are you allowed to show this to kids? This is bad. It keeps showing his remains, his metal skeleton with skin peeling off, and it's all metal and molten metal, and it's hot, and oh god, that was terrible. He did not deserve to die like that. Damn! Okay, the kid actors. Nicola Peltz. You may remember her as Katara from The Last Airbender, the one directed by M. Night Shyamalan. The movie I could not finish because it is really bad. Oh man, I tried twice to finish that movie. You know where I stopped? At the 30-minute mark. Where is that? At the Earthbender prison camp. Yeah, I stopped right after that. I could not bear to watch another frame of that piece of shit movie. Jesus Christ, that movie sucked. Anyway, her acting in here? Good. She acted good. I was shocked. At first, I was like, oh my god. Even from the trailers, I'm like, is she just gonna keep saying, Dad! 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 I was like, oh god, I'm gonna hate her so much in this movie. She is pretty. I think she's underage. She's like 17 or something, so I felt awkward just looking at her, especially when she's wearing very, very tight shorts. I mean, sometimes you could see her ass cheeks kind of coming out of there, but she's skinny also, so I'm like, girl, I'm sorry, you have no ass, but you're pretty though. You have a beautiful face and a beautiful figure, but you have no ass. Like I said, I felt awkward, but I think she's probably 20 by now. I don't know. It felt weird. She acted very well, like I said, but the problem is her character. In the beginning of the movie, you actually like her character. She cares about Mark Wahlberg. She cares about her father. She wants to go to college. She wants to show that she's smart, and she wants to do many things. She wants to do good things. So she's kind of like Ariel and Belle mixed together. So I was happy about that. I was actually liking the character. Until the halfway point where her character becomes a stereotypical dumb blonde that you want her to die. Her boyfriend. At first I was okay with him because you don't really see him that much. You see him on the webcam, I think it's Skype, for like 30 seconds. And then after that I'm like, oh, you don't see him ever again then. Okay, they just show him for a little bit. No, it turns out he's also a primary character. He's not as annoying as Sam Witwicky from the previous trilogy because he doesn't really scream that much. But at the same time, from the halfway point even, he is a douchebag. He is a really big douchebag, and I honestly wanted him to die. Sure, he rescued Mark Wahlberg and his daughter and T.J. Miller at one point, and yeah, I was okay with that. But after that, he immediately shows his douchebaggery, and I really didn't like him. He was bad. And the actor, I know he's Irish, or half Irish at least, so this character is supposed to be Irish, but every time he tries to do the Irish accent, it felt fake. It sounded so fake. So the entire time I wanted him to shut the hell up or just speak plain English. His Irish accent was terrible. And Mark Wahlberg just kept calling him Lucky Charms the entire time, so that got aggravating actually because he said it so many times to this kid. But honestly, at the same time, this kid deserved it because he was terrible. So the story. It's a very simple story. This movie takes place about 10 years after the Battle of Chicago, and it doesn't say anything about what happens to the characters of the previous trilogy, so you're probably gonna like that if you really hated the characters, but at the same time, you want to know exactly what happened, because some of the Autobots, especially Bumblebee, you really want to know exactly what happened during those 10 years, because Optimus Prime, damn, he wants revenge. He wants to basically kill every single human. Really, I don't blame him. I really don't, because seriously, after all the hard work Optimus Prime did to protect the humans in these movies, and all of a sudden they just betray him, hell no! Optimus Prime better kill all these freaking humans. Yes, he sounds like a psychotic at times, but at the same time, I'm okay with that. He deserves to be the psychotic. If he wants to kill every single human inside, let him. He was badass and insane. He's like, I'm going to kill you all! Oh my god, they killed Ratchet! I'm gonna kill everyone! Yep, Optimus Prime was psychotic. And Bumblebee. I want to know, what the hell happened with him? Okay, here's the thing. The voice box thing. It really annoyed the shit out of me because he finally got his voice back at the end of the first movie. Second movie, they took it away. They just said, oh, they got damaged again for some reason during the battle. And then in the third movie, he still didn't get his voice back. And then, 10 years after the third movie, you're trying to tell me that they still did not fix Bumblebee's voice box? He still has to speak in that stupid radio sound voice? What? No. Nope. I don't buy it for a bit. Seriously, why does Bumblebee still have the stupid radio voice box? The radio doesn't make any sense. Does Bumblebee have some like iTunes music library playlist of all these radio sounds and shit? I don't get it. I mean, how does he know which one to play? Because he must have a lot. And if you're trying to tell me, oh, he goes to the station that's currently playing, how does Bumblebee know how to do that? Oh, he's a Transformer, he's an Autobot. Of course robots know how to do that. It takes a lot of memory to go through all that. So Bumblebee must have like a gajillion terabytes or something like that, because seriously, I'm confused on how is he able to do the radio voice thing. It makes no goddamn sense to me. And the fact that he can choose different words from a radio station to a different words from a radio station and mix them together to create a sentence. I don't get how he does this. It makes no damn sense. So that's why I like the voice he finally got at the end of the first movie. Jesus Christ, what's up with this? Give him his voice! And also, when did he develop an anger tantrum? Which begs the question, what the hell did Shia LaBeouf do to him at the end of the third movie? Because Bumblebee is not himself anymore. He's usually the cool one. He's not a hothead. He listens to orders and he helps everyone and he keeps cool about it. He doesn't have an anger tantrum. He doesn't create mistakes or shove people and shit. That's not Bumblebee. This Bumblebee. What happened to him? There's a scene in the middle of the movie where he realizes that they made a clone of him, which is all pink and stuff, and he was very mad about that. He was cursing and swearing and pushing the replica. So I'm like, why would Bumblebee do this? I mean, the whole point is to be covert, but he just ups and transforms into his Autobot self and then just shoves the damn thing. It makes no sense. Bumblebee would never do this. So I really want to know what the hell happened to him in those 10 years. I understand Optimus Prime, but Bumblebee, what happened to you? Anyway, so Mark Wahlberg found an old truck that's riddled with bullets, giant bullets, motor shells and stuff. So he brings it over to his farm and tries to fix it. Then he realizes that it's a Transformer. I love this scene because he seemed like a little kid when he said it. Guys, I believe we found a Transformer. So he realizes that it's Optimus Prime, and Optimus Prime honestly wanted to kill Mark Wahlberg at first, but Optimus Prime finally believes that Mark Wahlberg is a friendly human and he is willing to help Mark Wahlberg and his daughter. TJ Miller accidentally called the cops, which led information from the Kelsey Grammer's Black Ops team, and Kelsey Grammer got over there with his team, and they really want to know where Optimus Prime is. Then Optimus Prime just starts shooting up the place in glorious slow motion, and it looks great, and Optimus Prime is just killing these dudes. And then you see Katara's boyfriend saving the day. The boyfriend picked up Katara, Mark Wahlberg, and T.J. Miller, and then they drive off in this very lengthy speed chase. And yeah, it was intense, it was exciting, but it was ruined by T.J. Miller's constant line delivery. It was just annoying as hell. I was okay with Mark Wahlberg. I was even okay with the boyfriend. The Katara barely spoke, but T.J. Miller just keeps yapping and yapping and yapping, and the entire time I'm like, Jesus Christ, they really have to cut his scenes out. I would. If I put this movie in Final Cut Pro and just chop it off, I'll chop off all the T.J. Miller scenes and we'll get a very good action chase scene. But no, he just keeps yapping and yapping and yapping, and right after that, the race car died, and then T.J. Miller died. Mark Wahlberg's like, no! T.J. Miller, I only saw you in this movie for like 10 minutes, and you were annoying as hell, and I'll revenge you! So yeah, I'm like, you're doing all this for T.J. Miller? Okay. So Optimus Prime, Mark Wahlberg, and his daughter and the boyfriend all go meet up with the other Autobots, and you finally see Bumblebee, and this was at like the 1 hour mark or something? I don't know, this movie was long. It is 2 hours and 45 minutes long, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was an hour. And then they meet up with the other 3 Autobots. So, there's one that's an Autobot Samurai, and I like his design, and I like the way he speaks, because he's voiced by Ken Watanabe. Yes! Let them fight! I wanted him to say that again as an Autobot, but no, he does not say it. I really wanted him to say that, especially when Optimus Prime faces off against Grimlock. I really want him to say, let them fight. But yeah, he basically keeps calling Optimus Prime Sensei, so I thought that was hilarious. And he transforms into like an Autobot Apache helicopter, so that was pretty cool. Then we have the green dude, who I thought was voiced by Jason Statham, because it really sounded like Jason Statham, but no, it turns out to be John DiMaggio. If you don't know this voice actor, he voiced Bender from Futurama, Kamari and Waka from Final Fantasy X, and so many other TV shows and video games. Yeah, this guy was nuts. There's a scene, and you keep seeing this in the trailer, where he jumps off a ship in slow motion and uses his parachute to glide, and then in slow motion shoots at everything in front of him. Yep, that's him, and he is insane in this movie. I liked him. And then we finally have the Autobot, which I thought was going to be the worst thing about this movie, Hound. I really didn't like this character design when I saw him in the trailer. I thought he looked stupid. I hated his beard. I hated the metal cigar he smokes. That part didn't make any sense to me whatsoever. And he looks exactly like Gimli, except that if Gimli is an Autobot. So I really didn't like his design. However, that's saved because of John Goodman. Yes, John Goodman voiced Hound. Because of him, Hound worked. Yeah, you could say of all the brilliant animators and stuff, but no, John Goodman! John Goodman was really good. He was so damn good. Even all the stupid lines he speaks, I really believed in it. John Goodman sells it. He was great. There's a scene near the end of the movie where it was just Bumblebee and him fighting against the Decepticons, and Hound was shooting at everything, and he's very agile too. And he's like, I'm like a fat ballerina! Yes, that line was hilarious. I loved him. John Goodman was so good. And Hound, you know what? I got past the beard, I got past the metal cigar. Hound was awesome because he's like the fastest one out of every single Transformer, because he's a fat Gimli Autobot, but he is loaded with all the guns in the frickin' world, and he's loaded with grenades. Hell, he uses his helmet to bash the Decepticons in the head, and he uses his metal cigar as a last resort to shoot out a Decepticon's head. I was okay with that. And he is so agile too. He spins around and around and around. He's bobbing and weaving between Decepticons. At the entire time I thought he was going to die, but no. He was very good. I liked Hound. He was the best Autobot in this movie. He was great. But then again, Optimus Prime is the most badass, but Hound, he was awesome. He was great. So, I'm sorry for judging a book by its cover, but Hound was good. I have to admit that. So the Autobots have to meet up with Stanley Tucci because he's creating all new Transformers for Kelsey Grammer, and it turns out that they still have Megatron's head from the last movie, and this part was kind of interesting because Stanley Tucci really wanted to make like an army of Optimus Primes because everyone loves Optimus Prime, but no, it turns out they keep making like Galvatron and all the evil clones of the Autobots, so that explains the clone of Bumblebee, but he's now pink, and now there's Galvatron, and he's like a purple Megatron, except his design I really liked, especially his eyes, his freaking creepy, scary eyes. Those were intimidating. And Galvatron, he's now voiced by Frank Welker instead of Hugo Weaving. Yes, I'm kind of sad about that, but at the same time, it's Frank Welker. He voiced Megatron and Galvatron from the TV show, and of course, he was great in that one, so why not bring him in here? He was great in here. So, of course, shit goes wrong, and Optimus Prime has to run away, but he got chased down by Galvatron, and Galvatron beat the living shit out of him. But this is right after the awesome rescue scene, because you know the rescue scene from the third movie where Bumblebee is with Sam and they were on the bridge and then shit was exploding, and then in slow motion, and this was brilliant in 3D, Bumblebee transformed from the car form into his Autobot form, and Sam Witwicky is screaming in slow motion and is about to get hit by all this debris, so Bumblebee just tosses all the debris around, just blocks everything from Sam, and then transforms back to his car form and gets Sam back into the car. Yeah, we have another scene like that where Bumblebee and Optimus Prime, they were getting shot at, and Mark Wahlberg, his daughter, and the boyfriend just jumped out of the car in slow motion, and Optimus Prime and Bumblebee grabbed them, and they were dodging through traffic, and it was in slow motion entirely. I really loved the scene. To me, this scene was the best part about the movie. I really loved it. I love scenes like this, seriously. Yes, it seems a bit repetitive because it's been done in the third movie, but I loved it. I mean, Michael Bay finally knows how to shoot well now. He knows how to stage a shot, so it looked beautiful, and it looks more colorful than before, so it's really popping at you, and in 3D, it looks brilliant. So Optimus Prime gets beat up by Galvatron, but then Lockdown finally appears again. Yeah, Lockdown was good. Honestly, from the trailers, I didn't know that was Lockdown. I kept thinking that was Galvatron because I remember from the TV show, Galvatron can turn into a cannon, so when I saw Lockdown with his head cannon, I honestly thought that was Galvatron. But no, it's a different character named Lockdown, and people told me he's from the original TV show, but I honestly can't remember him. I really don't. It's been like 2 decades since I saw the TV show, so I'm sorry if I don't remember all that, but I really don't remember Lockdown. But he was awesome in here. He's like a bounty hunter like Jango Fett and Boba Fett, and he was great. His head turns into a head cannon. It was awesome to look at, and the beautiful animations of him transforming, that was great. And he uses like a glaive to slash at enemies too, so that was awesome. And what he did to Ratchet was very cruel too. Jesus, Ratchet did not deserve that. Honestly, Ratchet's like, please, let me live! I'm not even trying to shoot at you and stuff! God, let me live! But he's like, boom! You're dead, Ratchet. Oh man, I felt bad for Ratchet. Then again, I really don't care about him as much as a lot of people did, but he died in a sad way. So Lockdown basically paralyzed Optimus Prime, and then this is the part where I start getting mad at Katara. Katara happens to be right next to Optimus Prime. Here's the thing, Lockdown does not give a shit about Katara. He only cares about Optimus Prime. So Mark Wahlberg even told this to Katara. Girl, daughter, please get out of the truck, run into the cornfields. Lockdown doesn't give a shit about you. He only cares about Optimus Prime. But Katara's like, I can't do it, Dad. I'm too scared. I can't do it. I can't. I'm like, what the hell happened to you? Just run. Do what your father says for you to do. And yeah, so she's in this Jeep or truck that's been pinned down by Optimus Prime, and basically she could still get out of the car. Hell, she did. She did get out, but she decides to go back in. What? I don't get it. I mean, at that time, I'm like, is she trying to move Optimus Prime? Or is she trying to escape with the truck? Or what? What is she doing? No, it turns out she was just hiding there. For what? I don't get it. So Lockdown decides to bring a net, which captures not only Optimus Prime, but also the truck containing Katara. So Katara had her chance to escape, but didn't take it. So Mark Wahlberg is running after this net. Hell, even jumped on it and was trying to get Katara out. And he keeps saying, Katara, just find a way out. Just climb or something, honey. And she's like, I can't do it, Dad. I can't. No, I can't. And then Mark Wahlberg drops down like 20 feet and just He didn't die. He did get injured, sort of, but he still runs after that, so I'm wondering, ooh, that's gotta hurt. But he's fine after that, so I'm kind of confused. So yeah, I really didn't like Katara at this point. I was like, oh my god, girl, you really are stupid. You're stupid. So then for the next like 30 minutes to 40 minutes, we have this rescue scene. The Autobots have to get Optimus Prime off this ship because this ship will go into space and lead to the makers of the Transformers, where Lockdown is helping them and stuff. So they have to get Optimus Prime out of there before it leaves orbit and stuff. And Mark Wahlberg and the boyfriend have to save Katara. But the boyfriend, I really didn't get this part. Mark Wahlberg's like, okay, so we're gonna help rescue my daughter. And the boyfriend's like, wait, I'm not going up there to rescue your daughter. I'm going up there to rescue my girlfriend. What? Why would you say that? Why do you keep doing this to Mark Wahlberg? Yes, Mark Wahlberg's an overprotective father, but can you blame him? His wife died. He's knows his daughter is hot, and he knows there are perverts out there. He barely met you, buddy, so of course he has to be overprotective. But the boyfriend, he keeps being a freaking jerk about it. What a douchebag. And it's like a dick measuring contest with him. I really didn't like this boyfriend. When they finally get onto the ship, the Autobots go off to help Optimus Prime get out, and Mark Wahlberg and the boyfriend have to get Katara. Mark Wahlberg and the boyfriend found some cool-ass alien guns, which look like swords at first, but turns out to be giant-ass guns. They were about to get ambushed by some Decepticons, and Mark Wahlberg's like, okay, on three, we're gonna shoot at them, okay? 1, 2, 3. And you know what does the boyfriend do? He surrenders. The boyfriend automatically surrenders within a second. And he's like, I surrender! I surrender! I surrender! I won't shoot at you! I won't fight you! I'm like, what's the point of this? What are you doing? And he drops the gun, which shoots off at the Decepticons and kills them. So it was an accident. It wasn't on purpose. He surrendered on purpose. And Mark Wahlberg's like, what the hell was that for? And he's like, I'm sorry, I panicked. I'm like, so you were really gonna surrender? 20 minutes ago, you were talking about, oh, I'm gonna rescue my girlfriend, and now you just surrender? I don't get it. What's your plan? What's your move? I mean, is this like a trick? Were you trying to make them lead you to Katara or something like that? You don't even know where she is. I don't get it. And at this point, Katara isn't even captured. Not once! In this giant-ass ship, she wasn't even captured once, especially with this giant hyenas and the Wallies with the giant glowing red eyes from Judge Doom from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. No, she did not got captured once, so I don't understand the plan of the boyfriend. He really was gonna surrender. He's a freaking coward. I really hated him and I wanted him dead. So they finally met up with Katara and they finally decide to leave the ship, but the only problem is, the only way to get out is to climb these giant-ass tension wires, which is connected to a skyscraper. So Mark Wahlberg and the boyfriend are not having much difficulty, but Katara is, and for some reason, Mark Wahlberg should know about this. He should have put his daughter first, but for some reason, Katara decides to be the last one, and she's far behind them. And at the halfway point, and she's like, no, fuck this. I'm going back. I can't do this anymore. I'm like, girl, there's metal hyenas. Oh yeah, here's the thing about the hyenas. There are Transformer hyenas, but their hair, their fur, they're not metal. They're actually fur. Like this, like an actual wolf's fur, hyena's fur. So I don't understand that design. That was really, really weird. It was. Anyway, so the hyenas were gonna devour her if she decides to come back. So my friend and I were like, you know what? Fuck it. Go back. We don't want you anymore. You're done. We liked you in the first 10 minutes we saw you, but then you keep getting dumber and dumber and dumber. You know what? Fuck this. Go die. You go die. So the hyenas destroy the wires, and 3 characters fall down, and they seem like they're about to die. But no, Bumblebee saves the day again, and then he picks them up, and it was an awesome rescue. And then he finds a ship, and the green guy decides to follow him, and then they have this chase throughout the city. And it was good. It was. I did like this action scene. So the Autobots finally got Optimus Prime out, but here's the weird thing. I don't know if the Autobots and Decepticons can heal automatically, because Optimus Prime couldn't move at all. He was damaged. He was severely injured. So that's why he couldn't run away when he got knocked down by a lockdown. But for some reason, when the Autobots finally got him out, he was able to walk and run very quickly. Like nothing happened. And also, there's no damage to him whatsoever. So I was very confused about that. I was like, did he heal? Did Lockdown heal him? Did the Autobots heal him? So there's a deleted scene or something like that? So we didn't see this? I don't know. So Optimus Prime was just okay when they finally rescued him. Seriously, the very second they got him out of the jail cell, he was okay. What the hell? I don't get this. So after this, the Autobots and the gang finally escaped the ship, and the ship went into orbit, and Lockdown is such an idiot because he finally realized that Optimus Prime is not on the ship anymore, so he decides to go back for Optimus Prime. And here's the thing. This rescue scene was unnecessary. Sure, the final parts of the rescue scene, the action looks very good, and it was, but the 20-30 minutes or so leading up to it was boring. It dragged on way too long. It was unnecessary. You could have just cut this out, and this movie could have been about 2 hours long. And it would have been a better movie, honestly, because the whole point of this rescue scene is to not only get Optimus Prime out, but just to get a ship. That's all they need. They just need a ship. And they only use that ship for 5 minutes, and then it gets blown up. So I don't see the point of this rescue scene. So what I think that they should have done, Optimus Prime gets injured by Lockdown. Okay, write something around that. The Autobots distract Lockdown, or they fought off Lockdown while Optimus Prime escapes with Katara and stuff, and then it was a huge distraction, and then they just all escape, and Lockdown has to find them. That would have been better. That would have been so much better than the 30 minutes of this stupid-ass rescue scene that just ruined 2 characters for me. 2 human characters, which I honestly did not hate at first, but now I hate. And it did nothing to the story. It was not important. It really wasn't. And you know what sucked? They were not in China yet. This happened in America still. They're not in China yet. I didn't get this. The final act of the movie, the 1/3 of the movie, takes place in China. 1 hour. The final hour of the movie takes place in China. After the rescue scene, I was exhausted. I thought the movie was over. But from the trailers, I realized, holy shit, we still have this much to go. What kind of story is this movie trying to tell? It's a very simple story. It did not need to be this freaking long. Damn! People complain about Avatar having the same story of Pocahontas and Ferngully, but at least Avatar was entertaining at least, and the environments look beautiful, and the characters I do like, so I was okay with it for being 3 hours. It was entertaining, the action was good, and it knows how to pace itself. This one, it was almost non-stop action, and then when it gets to dialogue scenes, it was stupid as hell. Jesus Christ. This movie. So they finally go to China. Stanley Tucci realizes that Kelsey Grammer was bad, so he has to escape with this kind of tactical nuke kind of thing, which if you've seen the beginning of, it explodes and turns everything into metal, so it can transform the Earth into like Cybertron. Oh yeah, I forgot about the stupid part about this movie. The material that created the Transformers is called Transformium. 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 And it's not just the humans that called it this. The Autobots and the Decepticons call it Transformium. It's an actual term. Unobtainium from Avatar was stupid. Was a stupid name. But that sounded like an alien language at least. Transformium? Really? A 5-year-old kid could think about that. How many screenwriters this movie has? 3? Transformium? Are you shitting me? What the fuck? Whatever. So Stanley Tucci has his tactical nuke, and then he has to go meet up with Mark Wahlberg and the gang. But once Mark Wahlberg and the Autobots try to meet up with Stanley Tucci, the ship explodes, and Mark Wahlberg, his daughter, their boyfriend, Hound, and Bumblebee were stranded in China with Stanley Tucci, and Optimus Prime, the Ken Watanabe, and the Jason Statham Autobot crashed somewhere else in China. And it turns out in this ship that they crashed on, the Dinobots were there. The Dinobots were held captive in that part of the ship. The Dinobots were in the ship all along. The Dinobots were not even mentioned from the very beginning of the movie until then. About 2 hours passed, and the Dinobots were not mentioned. I thought they were going to be very important to the story. Like, at first from the trailers, I thought, oh, so it's like the race to find out the Dinobots and to seek their help. So the Decepticons need the Dinobots to win the war against the Autobots, or the Autobots need the Dinobots to win the war against the Decepticons. No, it's not like that. The Dinobots are basically cameos in this movie. Anyway, so Optimus Prime challenged Grimlock to a fight. And yeah, this fight was hilarious because Optimus Prime, he's like half half the size of Grimlock, yet Optimus Prime keeps bitch-slapping the hell out of Grimlock. It was glorious to see. And Ken Watanabe Autobot's like, Sensei, you are badass. And everyone's just shocked about this, and then finally you get to see Optimus Prime mount on top of Grimlock with his awesome mighty sword, and Grimlock breathes fire, and Optimus Prime's like, charge! And they go straight out to help out Bumblebee and Hound. Oh man, the Dinobots were awesome though. Yes, they're actually like the Ghost Army from the Return of the King movie, because they're only used for this scene only, and then they leave. They're really not that important. I mean, Optimus Prime keeps bitch-slapping Grimlock, so Optimus Prime could have fought off against the Decepticons on his own, actually, if he could just keep bitch-slapping Grimlock, but no. It was awesome to see Optimus Prime on top of Grimlock, destroying Decepticons, and Grimlock setting things on fire, and using his tail to stab through Decepticons, and Optimus Prime is tag teaming with Grimlock, and he uses his sword and shield to crack skulls and stuff. It was awesome. It was glorious. Explosions everywhere in China. Things are getting destroyed in China. Everything is destroyed in China. And Galvatron does escape, but when you think everything is over, nope, Lockdown finally showed up on Earth, and then he uses his ship, which is basically the World Engine from Man of Steel. Seriously, it's the World Engine. It does the gravity thing. Seriously, it picks things up and then throws them back down. It's the World Engine. So you see giant ships going up into the sky and falling down on top of Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. And yes, the action was awesome, but the entire time I'm like, it's the World Engine. God damn it. So you see the Dinobots getting picked up by the World Engine, and then finally the World Engine finally gets destroyed, and then Lockdown finally has the final match against Optimus Prime, and I love his entrance. Lockdown's entrance was great because it was in slow motion. Lockdown drops off his ship, shoots at a bridge, and then it explodes, and then he uses the explosion as a cushion, and after that you see more explosions under that explosion, and then he just rides the explosion down to face off against Optimus Prime. That was beautiful. It was so beautiful. I actually shed a tear on that. I'm like, oh my god, that is so ridiculously stupid but awesome. Tear. I think Michael Bay cried a lot every time he saw the explosions. He's like, my masterpiece! It's so beautiful! So Optimus Prime faces off against Lockdown, but Lockdown is beating the crap out of Optimus Prime. Hell, Optimus Prime gets stabbed with his own sword at times. So Mark Wahlberg decides to help out Optimus Prime, and he shoots out Lockdown, distracting him, while Katara and the boyfriend finally does something useful for once and distract Lockdown, so Optimus Prime can get the sword off his chest and then slice Lockdown with it. You know, the Katara and the boyfriend, they finally redeemed themselves in the end, but because of the rescue scene, I didn't care. Honestly, it was too little too late. I did not give a damn. Honestly, I kind of prefer if they do not show up in the 5th movie, if there will be a 5th movie. So, the movie ends with Optimus Prime flying into space. This part I didn't get, because this final scene literally takes place minutes after the showdown with Lockdown. In the 2nd movie, Optimus Prime gets parts from Jetfire, and that's how he got the rocket jetpack, and then he flies around with it. I was okay with that. In the 3rd movie, Optimus Prime has like a tractor trailer which transforms into weapons and gear for Optimus Prime, including the jetpack. And so that's why he could fly around. I get that. And here, he has rocket boots, so he can go into space, outer space, at extremely high speed too. Why didn't he use this at any point in the movie? You had the ability to fly in circles around your enemy, but you don't use it, and you only use it to fly out into space to meet your makers? What the fuck, man? Optimus Prime, I thought you were usually the smartest one out of the Autobots, but no. You have rocket, booster, boots, jetpacks, and you don't use it? Why? It makes no sense to me. Why do you even need a ship then? I don't get it. It makes no sense. It makes no fucking sense. I don't get this. Yeah, this movie was very, very, very stupid. But I gotta say, I did enjoy this. Honestly, If it wasn't for all the stupid moments, I would say this movie could have been as good as the first movie. If this movie was cut down to 2 hours only, it cut off a lot of the stupid shit, cut out the stupid character like TJ Miller, it could have been as good as the first movie, honestly. It could have been the best movie. Honestly, after the Rotten Tomato score, I think this is the worst movie out of the series. I don't think it's as bad as 2 or 3. Seriously, this movie could have been great. But I did have a fun time. I wasn't really angry about it. I was more angry at number 3. But, yeah, it was stupid. I gotta admit, it was really stupid. It did not need to be 2 hours and 45 minutes. 2 hours max. It could have been actually 90 minutes. Because there's no story. This is not a story, you know? So all you fans of the Transformer movie series so far, I'm sorry if it feels like I'm ranted way too much on this, but you gotta admit, it was stupid. It was really stupid. But it was one of those stupid movies where you can have a fun time at, but it really hurts your brain and could give you a heart attack because after the rescue scene, I thought I was exhausted. I didn't want to see anymore. I saw too many explosions, seriously. I love explosions, but too much of a good thing is a bad thing, you know? To me, I just went to Six Flags recently for a summer vacation, and I love the Nitro. I don't want to do 2 hours and 45 minutes of it. I would get a heart attack and die by the halfway point. So yeah, that's my review on Transformers Age of Extinction. Write down in the comments below if you've seen the movie, how do you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Which of the Transformers movie do you think is the best? Let me know. If you like this video, please click the like button. If you'd like to subscribe, there's an annotation here for subscribing. So until next time, guys, see you later.